Hello llamas and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm sorry that it is so dark. We are experiencing a blizzard here in New York City. For today's video, I wanted to talk about the power of love. Yes, I know Valentine's Day is right around the corner, but honestly,
get yourself a box of chocolates.
I wanted to make this video because we are all at this point in our lives where we are catering to our individual journeys, and that's wonderful. But the power of that journey starts with love, and it starts within ourselves first. I also felt like making this video because we are now in Aquarius, almost Pisces season, and I felt like it was a good time to talk about the emotions and do a lot of inner work, and it's 2021 and we want to be our best selves. A lot of the times it's hard to recognize that we are actually the keys to unlocking our own destinies, right? Because sometimes a lot of us feel so safe in our comfort zone. We know what's going to happen, we know how it's going to end, we feel safe there, we feel okay there, that the unknown just becomes like a oh my gosh, I can't go on no more. It's scary, and it's okay to feel scared. I've definitely had a lot of first times in my life where I ventured off into little creative outlets here and there. I really love YouTube at the end of the day, and my goal on this channel is to help you break out of that comfort zone so that you can align to your highest self. Love is a powerful energy that can allow us to heal. To begin the road of the unknown is allowing yourself to grow, even if it's little by little. These small beginnings carve a path of aligning ourselves to get to know ourselves without judgment. And what I mean by that is a lot of us always think that when we step out of our comfort zone, we are expected to be perfect at whatever we're going to try. And actually, no, it's quite the opposite. We will make mistakes, we will fail, we will probably suck in the beginning. But the point is you got to give yourself credit for actually doing whatever it is that you're doing. Because not a lot of people will take that leap of faith. And you need to know the fact that you tried a little, and even if it wasn't the perfect result at the end, and you can still keep going unless you want to try something different, which is totally fine. You're allowed to change your mind. The unknowns are us discovering who we are at the end of, this crazy world called life. And it allows us to strengthen ourselves, how to be ourselves without judgment. Just go. You'll still be okay at the end of the day. I promise you'll survive. So the first way to turn on the power of love is your mind will believe what you tell it. You control your mind. So feed it hope, truth, and love. Be kind to yourself, and it may feel hard at first. You are your own best friend. We must plant the seed of love inside ourselves to be able to openly love others. When we do, we heal. We wash away the old wounds of sadness, pain, and feeling low. Love is strong when we spread it. We become vulnerable. This vulnerability allows us to create new energy and letting go of what no longer serves us. So when you become vulnerable, you become approachable to people. Think about Princess Diana. I actually am watching The Crown right now, so. Princess Diana was someone who the people admired because of how raw she was, of how real she was, and how she was not scared to be a part of the collective, the larger group. Maybe you guys heard of Selena Quintanilla, who was a Latin Tex-Mex singer in the 90s. Selena was always real with the people. She was always very approachable, and you can sense that when she was singing, with the way she just was with her neighbors and just the people in general. She always tried to model good for the rest of the world. Vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. Vulnerability is a sign of strength. Something I've really struggled with in my past is trying to connect to my vulnerable side, because I'm an Aquarius and I have a hard time expressing my emotions, or at least I did when I was younger. I feel like as I'm starting to get older, I'm starting to embrace my Pisces moon. It's like, oh girl, I feel you, or I'm here for you when you need it, because it shows love, it shows compassion. We are trying to heal and nurture, and this builds a much better society. The second one is self-love. I don't mean just face masks and massage oils, even though those things are nice and it shows that you take care of yourself physically. I'm talking about the deeper parts okay? It is accepting your highs and lows, accepting who you are at your core unapologetically, looking after yourself when things get hard, honoring that you matter and are plenty enough, and just being yourself in this grand universe. We are all made out of cosmic stardust, or whatever you believe in, right? We are all here to have the human experience. And what does being human mean? Being human means vulnerability. Being human means not always being perfect. And a lot of us always forget that. Even people in their own fields make mistakes, and they see like what doesn't work and what they could do better. And the thing is, we're always constantly trying to do better. And we shouldn't think of ourselves any less or not enough when we make mistakes. I think it's important that we learn from those mistakes, but we shouldn't go on saying, you know, I feel less than, or I don't feel good enough. We should transform those thoughts into, I can do better next time. I will do better next time. In order to love, we must be open. It's not only beautiful for the parts that it's most joyous and happy in, but it's also beautiful in horrible experiences, right? We still have to feel some sort of love for the lesson that we learned. Love carries us into a brighter future. The more love we give and have for ourselves, the more of a ripple effect this gives the world, especially after the many events that happened in 2020 and before Mr. Biden took presidency. Need say no more. We must be compassionate to better lead into a healing society, one where love is a sign of strength. This is important, like as a collective. There is a lot of hurt, there is a lot of pain, not only in our individual lives, but as a collective. How can we better heal to move forward as a society? What can we do to really have equality for all? What can we do that healthcare is not an afterthought, but a quality of life for everybody? So we have to think about how when we put ourselves in the shoes of love, how can it work best for everyone, where everybody feels this innocent, pure acceptance to evolve into a society that grows and flourishes like a garden. Think about it like this. A garden experiences many seasons. Right now we're in winter time, right? Winter is not my favorite season, but I'm learning to embrace its hardship because it helps climb the way to the springtime where it rains and things start to bloom. Like a garden, we have to take care of the society as a whole. And the last one is love is empowering. It is this way not just because of the feelings of happiness or joy, like I was saying before, but rebuilding ourselves when life spirals. It is understanding, and love is also patient. So I hope with the new politicians that we have, we are able to patiently live in a better world as a whole. And I want to talk about this part about being broken and rebuilding ourselves. Sometimes we have the tower moments in our lives, like the tarot cards. I don't know how many of you guys believe in tarot messages. The tower card represents two people falling out of a building because the environment that they're in is shaky and it's unstable. The death card, which means rebirth and renewal, we crack so that every moment feels like an evolution. And speaking of that, I actually took out my oracle deck, which is called Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell, one of my favorite decks. And also the artist Daniel Noel is the whole reason why I started doing Photoshop. So for those of you that don't know, I did actually make a video on how to use tarot cards. I'll link it up here. Just a quick explanation. So an oracle deck is like the theme of a person's life or collectively, which is what I'll be doing here. The regular tarot cards are kind of like the details of that theme. Look at that. We have the crumbling. It says, what are you still clinging on to? So I feel like this is a good message for society as a whole, right? We were built on shaky foundations since the very beginning of time, where one that really didn't mean equal for all, these foundations are now crumbling. It's not good to hang on to foundations that were not serving everybody's highest good. So as you guys can see in the picture, we have the tower cracking down by the lightning. dying, right? Because it's crumbling away what no longer serves us as a community and as a whole. But we also have the light shining through a garden. So I was speaking about gardens before and how we spread the power of love to grow a garden that serves everybody's highest good and everybody's quality of life. I actually got the idea to read these cards from Amy Lee, which is one of my other favorite YouTubers, also an Aquarius with a Pisces moon, with a Gemini rising. I'm a Scorpio rising. For a long time I hid away like my feelings and stuff and didn't really tell like people like my life like that. But I'm learning that it is good to talk about when things are hard. Anyways, llamas, I hope you guys enjoyed this first video in this little self-love manual series, The Power of Love. It's probably a cheesy title, but it was the best I could come up with. I love you, llamas, and I will see you all on my next video, which will be on spiritual awakening. Stay safe. We are now in Mercury retrograde in the sign of Aquarius, so a lot of unconventional and cray things might be happening under this sign. Be careful with what you say, communicative wise. All right. Bye, llamas.